Hey guys, ScrawtVermillion here, and we're back at it again with another Melty type Lumina video. Our shield guide for the latest patch. We had shield guides in the past for the original version of Melty type Lumina on what we call Season 2. A lot of things changed, and given the fact that a lot of you people have asked me for it, and I've seen a lot of newcomers to the game, I think it's about time that we have the updated resource. So we're gonna go over every shield follow-up, or not follow-up as we're gonna discuss a little bit, and how to punish it. Very, very important. You can punish every shield follow-up now in this game. So we're gonna talk about Shield A. This is the bare bones, most basic shield follow-up that you're gonna see, right? So this is the one where you get the launcher. You say, Scrawt, how do I fight against this? Well, first and foremost, this is the one that it's easy to reshield. This is the one that where the mind games happen for the most part. And as we're gonna discuss, it is probably the safest to throw out there. If you're just gonna not do any delayed follow-ups, if you're just gonna press or like a counter attack, you wanna be using a follow-up. As you see, like if you're gonna contest immediately, this is the one you wanna use. So what are the weaknesses of Shield A? Well, Shield A will lose to pretty much every safe jump in the game. Oh my god, really? Shield A will lose to pretty much every safe jump in the game. Second, it is punishable on block. And you can get a pretty big punish if you see from this example. So you want to be really careful about it. Second, you can use the defensive BC to escape most of these situations. We're gonna go over these in depth once we hit the corner. But now, you can get a punish if they choose not to jump cancel this for some reason, which you can jump cancel after a clash. But characters like Saber, for example, can actually contest pretty well here. So it is something to be aware of. This is a situation you have to lap against some characters, so definitely keep it in mind. In the corner, this actually becomes pretty interesting. First of all, as you see, you can kind of get jailed here. Sometimes as the aggressor, if the opponent is pressing a button right after the clash, you kind of have to be ready to block that out, because you can get fataled out of that. We're going to show it on this example here, what would happen if you mess up. And as you can see there, Arc is trying to press JA, gonna get hit by that. A way you can kind of deal with this is if you do a delayed jump, what we call a fuzzy jump into delayed throw. So it will play kind of like this. In case they don't press right away, right, you would get your throw. If they press right away, you would block it. It is not the best. Some people come up with the next layer, which we're gonna go without right now. We're gonna start going into our hard reads. First of all, you can try this one. If you have someone that you know likes to press right after that situation. Second of all, delay A. But you have to be careful. You have to time this pretty well, because otherwise, you could get hit. So if you are hard reading that we're gonna press a button right after this BC, this is a pretty good option. You can hold the shield also. And if you want to swing right away, if you hit this, then you can kind of play around the mind game of up shield, just delay throw, or delay J. If the opponent blocks your A shield, you will get punished. So it's very important that you understand what is the stake, the risk reward in all these situations. Let's say the opponent knows that I know that I like to delay A, they can do this. The mind games, brother. So yes, keep that in mind. Your options here will be, if you delay A, you're checking for their BC, and if you delay A, you could get punished by them not doing anything, like doing like a fast jab or something like that, something that recovers quickly, and not doing anything back. Very, very important that you understand how this works. Beyond just, oh, should I shield back, right? Like, what should I do? Remember, you have your getting shielded, you get the access to BC. It's a little costly, costs 50% on your moon gauge. But in mid-screen, pretty much it gets you out of most of the nastiest situations. so you should be fine, right? In the corners where it gets spicy, it is time we discuss the weakest shield follow-up in the game. Shield B. So this is 0 on hit. It is literally even on hit, which means you're scrambling for your life right after this. And there are characters with better normals than others. CL2B is notoriously good. Akiha 5C is really good. Any fast button that you can throw out, it is very, very good after a Shield B. Shield B does have some redeeming qualities. So I want you to focus on the top left of the screen because it's at least half my shield recovery is gonna be quicker, which means I'm not gonna get countered by the B follow-up. I'm just gonna get bunked by the broom. If I have less than that, I will get fatal counter. That means that B shield has a niche when the opponent doesn't have access to 50% moon. But if they have over 50% moon, this move is pretty weak for many reasons. Let's say if they defensively BC because they expect an A follow-up, you're just gonna side swap, right? Well, some characters can punish, and it's a guaranteed punish. I mean, but that's just a matchup thing, right? What about the corner, right? Like, look, they can do the EX move from there. Well, my friends, yeah. It is punishable on block if you do the BC. So this is not a safe way out if your opponent has 50% moon. This is not an escape tool by any means. It's actually really risky. The next thing that they nerfed about it is that if you reshield a shield B, your opponent cannot reshield you back. So you may remember if you were like a new player, if you played on the first weeks of Type Lumina, and you remember the shield wars of the past where people were teleporting and shielding and shielding and shielding, that's gone. That is not a thing anymore. If you get the read on this, you will get your punish. That is a huge change that directly affects the shield B's viability. This is obviously notable with characters like Red Arcwait and Bluff. Other things, the all punishes are still there. So for example, if you are sick nasty and want to get a lot of damage, you can up back it. And you can get a B starter, which noticeably more damage. A lot of people like to rely on the shield just because it's more reliable, but the shield follow-ups are severely nerfed. The damage of them is pretty weakened, so if you want to get the juicy damage, this is what you're gonna have to do. You could also just 3C it. A little bit difficult, I actually don't like doing this. But yeah, you could also just time it 3C. Weakest shield follow-up in the game, it does have a niche, but really risky. I wouldn't recommend using it all the time. Definitely as a round ender, or the opponent does not have access to BC, meaning they have less than 50% moon, you can start gambling with that follow-up. We're gonna end our follow-ups with the one that surprisingly is the simplest of them all, despite the fact it's the one that actually uses resources, that is Shield BC. This one has a couple case studies that you kind of want to look over. So of course it's an offensive follow-up, just like Shield A, right? It's the same idea type of deal. It's an offensive one. It used to do a lot more damage. Now damage that's severely nerfed. It's more about the utility of the Shield BC. Very important, and we're gonna go over it. So you might have remembered how Shield A loses 2 safe jumps. That's like the big weakness about them, right? You will get a punish from them. This does not apply to BC. Yeah, BC will beat safe jumps. But as we all well know, not every character is created equal. Can we ban this character? So the BC shield is mostly known for the utility as a movement tool. This is okay, but this is usually what you wanted to have. You can fight zoners like this, which is pretty good. But we're going to discuss a little bit about the potential counterplay. You have to be a little worried about this. If they are hard reading your option. So if I press a button there, I will get punished. If I don't, I will just block it. Which it can be fine. It really depends on the context. which we're gonna talk about this heart rate in a second. So we previously discussed how Shield BC beats most safe jumps if you're not a cheater. Well, what else can I do? You can actually punish BC by shielding in the air. Shielding into a follow-up will punish BC consistently. So very important that you are aware of this. The mind game is then, will I safe jump? If I safe jump, then you have to, risk it. If I get your read here, I will get another opening and you're gonna lose 50% moon. That is a huge commitment for no return. Second way that we can beat BC Shield, and this was on the ground, is by using our own BC Shield on the ground. This was also guaranteed they cannot do anything about this. So remember your punishes. If you're on the air, you want to shield into shield A. That will be your punish. Which leads us to what I was talking earlier. BC is useful, but it has actual punishes. While A shield is a little bit safer, it will lose to a reshield, right? Like you will have to get it in that little war, but you will not get punished outright. BC, you will get punished. That's why most people nowadays use it as a mobility and utility tool. And honestly, I really like that about Dash Shield. It made it very, very interesting to use and to measure resources around it. Now, we've discussed all our follow-ups, but I want to emphasize Shield Nothing. Shield Nothing is such a strong option even to this day, and there's situations where you want to use it as your default option. When shielding overheads or slow attacks with a lot of recovery, the opponent has to give you an answer. Do they shield or do they spend 50% moon? They have to do something here. Why? This is a guarantee punish, as you can see there. This is true for most overheads in the game, and that makes it so that you can read the room, right? You can kind of understand, okay, are they gonna give me 50 gauge? I don't have to do shield A as my response, right? Did I shield an overhead? I don't have to do this. I don't have to get in the little mind game that the opponent wants to put me in with the BC shield and all the clashes that I explained at the start of the video. I say, you give it to me and I'll respond. I can react with delay A at that point. I can do other things, right? But you are the one kind of in control of the situation. If they reshield back, I mean, buddy, you're in my face. So prepare to get thrown and mixed. I'm pretty sure it will be the same for a C normal. Yes. It is obviously tonal, but make sure you double check with the character you hate the most in the lab. And yeah, definitely keep those in mind. These type of buttons, your opponent has to give you a response, otherwise you're getting free damage. You don't have to have much mind games on that one. That about does it for this guy. Thank you everyone for getting into this point of the video. I hope it was really, really useful for everyone. And let me know in the comments what other guides you would like to see. Is it going to be more complete guides? We are working towards them, trying to get the collaborations going. You know I love to feature people from the community and other sorts of things about the game. Defense, offense, going back to our option selects again. Lots of things I want to cover in this game still. So let me know in the comments and I'll see you all next time.